Hey everybody, I'm here with Jason Zaran, founder and partner at Fit Kitchen. Jason, how you doing?
Doing great, man. Good to see you, Jeff.
Good to see you as well. We go way back and
We
great to
do.
connect.
Yeah, it is good. I haven't seen you in a while, but the beauty of Zoom, I guess, right?
In these times, absolutely.
Yeah, it's convenient.
Jason, can you give us a bit of a background as to just what Fit Kitchen is and just what the current circumstances are for you guys?
Yeah, you bet. Fit Kitchen's been around since 2015. I got my start in the food business in 2006. Kind of cold turkey, left a corporate job and started up a place called the Main Dish in Bridgeland. We did the whole healthy. We were pioneers doing the whole healthy meals to dine in or take out, and that was something that led us to opening Fit Kitchen in 2015, where we got a lot more specific in doing meal prep. So Fit Kitchen is a healthy meal prep company. So fresh prep meals that we deliver to you, and basically we're delivering nowadays 7 days a week on pretty much 24 hours notice. So we do full meal plans, so you don't even have to think of anything, Jeff. Perfect for you. You can get a bag of food. You got breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. Take all the thinking right out. Or we do, we'll obviously do send orders for what meals and or snacks that people need. Sometimes people are, breakfast or lunch or dinner only or whatever it might be. But yeah, been doing that since we had a store, and I don't want to dive too much into that. We can talk more, but we closed that in November. We had a retail store that we had since 2015, and then Fit Kitchen has been since that time just being a pure online ordering and delivery business.
So, how has it been for you guys then over the past couple of months with the whole COVID, the pandemic, and everything?
You know, we went through if I go back in time a little bit to the fall, we were on the edge. At that time, the economy had been really tough on us over the last 5 years. Walked away, kind of closed Main Dish and sold that. And we shut down a few other locations that we had because we did have at one point, I think, about 5 different outlets for Main Dish / Fit Kitchen. So we'd really consolidated. And in the fall, we were down to basically a point of almost going out of business. The kitchen was. We had a retail location that was really bringing down the whole company. Couldn't sell it because times were tough, so you couldn't even get a buyer for it. So all the money that you've invested in this retail location, I've never had to do that before, where you can't sell it. You've just got to bite the bullet. You got to say, I just need to walk because it's going to take us down. It's going to take the company down. So in November, we made that very hard decision to walk away from everything we put in a store in Mackenzie Town, and we went purely online. And at that time, we got our minds around just being totally focused on being as good as we could be on this online business. And weirdly enough, so when COVID comes in March, we're already kind of made that overused term pivot, as we were talking about earlier. So we were kind of there, and we have a delivery vehicle. We were already ramping up and talking to our customers about the convenience of what we do. And of course, we became a very popular option. So, we're very blessed in that our sales have seen a fairly significant increase since COVID, and we've been busier. And I think we've been really minding our time to be as good as we can be for our customers, maybe even more so than we made that pivot in November. And we've got better at our craft. Not that we weren't good at it, after all the years, but sometimes you can kind of miss the little details, right? You get a little bit too comfortable. And we, I think, made a point of becoming kind of the best that we can be at what we do as we headed into COVID. So it's been good. And then the government subsidies and some of those programs have been wise enough to take advantage of those that kind of help the bottom line and help us to sustain ourselves. So again, we've been kind of blessed through this.
Well, Jason, you joined us with the In It Together back in 2015 when things started to go south. And I mean, it's been challenging. And we keep saying this. I mean, for Albertans, it's been challenging for 5-6 years now. And I mean, how do you deal with that as an entrepreneur? And I mean, you've been an entrepreneur for years. When you're faced with that kind of a situation like back in November and a struggle, I mean, what goes through your mind? Because right now, and unfortunate that you guys are now kind of, getting the benefit, I should say, of the COVID and the online ordering, but how does a person deal with that?
Yeah, it's a good question. You get a lot of self-doubt. I'm probably like a lot of entrepreneurs where you beat yourself up, you don't think you're good enough. I mean, having to, close or walk away from businesses that haven't worked. And, failure is a part of life. And it's certainly a part of being a business owner. I think a lot of people don't have a clear understanding I think the general populace maybe does not have a good understanding of just how tough business is in general, being an entrepreneur. And then especially in the last 5 years, I guess the day, I just remember it started for us early in 2015. Some change in government power and a change in, I think, in the way that businesses were supported and the demands on business and cost increases, et cetera, and especially being in Alberta. And man, it's been a slippery slope since then. And I think going into COVID, there's all kinds of businesses that were already, like ourselves, struggling to make ends meet. And it's sad because as a Calgarian, the vitality of our communities, vitality of the city has always been that entrepreneurial spirit, that grassroots. I mean, I think that's what makes Calgary a great place, amongst some other things, like a beautiful day like today. But that's what gives Calgary its spirit. And I kind of have, over the last 5 years, seen that spirit kind of pummeled onto us. And it's certainly a different place than when I started, let's say in 06, and even through all the years. This last 5 years has been pretty tough. And this COVID thing just elevated it to a new level. I would have said, like, there's probably 40-50% of businesses, small businesses, that were already on the edge, teetering, going into March. Yeah. And then you get COVID and you're like, holy smokes, like, I was already struggling. Like, I can't absorb being closed for months or have 50% of my seating capacity cut off. And so the long-winded answer is that, it's a mental decision, whether you pack it in. There's so much time, I think, as an entrepreneur, that when you go through these things, and I know I did it, where you just have self-reflection and the time to feel like quitting and giving up. You just have to ask yourself if you want that last experience, like us in November, where I'm walking away from a store and you lose hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you say, is that going to define me? Is that going to be this moment that's going to define me? Or am I going to come out and be mentally tough and I'm going to live to fight another day? All these cliches, a bit of Rocky in there, but that's very much it. You got to do some soul searching and say, okay, what's the next iteration? Just pick yourself back up and start moving forward again. And you know what, you'll find a way. But guarantee, if you don't take that next step and get up, you won't find a way. You got to keep yourself in the game. And that's all we've really chosen to do.
Well, you know what, and that's a great point, and I love that, because I think that for me over the years, I've been an entrepreneur since I started my first company when I was 14, and
wow,
I've had some successes, but I don't tell people about my failures, because my failures far outweigh my successes. And I think it's an interesting point that I think there's some entrepreneurs out there, when you have to make those tough decisions, like shut down a store or shut down a business, because sometimes I think we're guilty of hanging on too long, and it can put us so deep in a hole that it's difficult to climb out of. And sometimes you got to put your pride aside and say, nope, fine, didn't work, let's move on and do something else. But I think the key thing is moving on.
It is moving on, yeah.
What do you see for you and for Fit Kitchen in the next 6 months? What's the plan going forward?
We've adopted that mindset of shifting our business back again in the fall when we started that. And I think that this time of reflection has been, we've gained a little bit of momentum, and it's amazing when you do have, and it's all purposeful, by the way, too. We've worked hard and made a lot of important decisions. Every day is all about making decisions, and where you end up is all about small decisions along the way, right? So that becomes, it's a purposeful thing. But through this, I think when you have some success like we've had lately, which is a byproduct of, I guess, some of the environment and good decisions, it does make it helps with your clarity when you move forward. When you have a little wind in your sails, it certainly does help with some of that decision making. So, we look forward to moving. We made a decision to take a lot of the good things that we do as a company and find a way for a growth footprint. So we're busy working hard to take what we're really good at and what we see that we can duplicate and expand our business beyond the region of Calgary. So that was kind of an important mental shift. I recently was in the corporate world, and to share a story, Jeff, it's interesting because as part you asked about how you feel. Like, I spent a good part of my last few years going through some contraction in my business and as an entrepreneur, and having to go get a job to survive as a family. I got in the cannabis industry, and for a year and a half was in that industry. And it was interesting to see when I was having a pity party for myself, or thinking maybe I wasn't good enough or smart enough to kind of enjoy the success I had hoped to find in some of my entrepreneurial ventures, to see a company that I worked with at a very large scale, many times multiples of what I was doing, and lots of people and people that are smarter than me supposedly make some terrible decisions in that industry. And it was a bit of an aha moment to see and look outside of myself and say, man, like this kind of stuff can happen at any scale. And you know what, don't beat ourselves up because we're small business owners or think we're in this, and you know what, you're the only one that's gone down that road or made that decision or it hasn't worked out. I got to see it at a very high level, how it can't work out with hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
And in a sense, that was a refreshing moment for me to say, you know what, like, it's not, I'm not all that, I'm not all that dumb. I'm okay. When you're in those moments of beating yourself up, you go, you know what, I think a lot of things I bring to the table, I'm pretty good. And it takes a little bit of an outside perspective to say, you know what, okay, I get this. Like business at any level can be very hard. And there's a lot of bad decisions and issues that can impact any scale of operation. And that in a strange way gave me some freedom to not be so hard on myself. And, so now we're looking to grow the business and really get focused on what we do well and how we can make money and how we can have a sustainable business for our team, our employees, and keep growing and give other entrepreneurs an opportunity to enjoy some of the things that we've become really good at our craft, to be able to take the business model that we've employed and do that within their location.
Well, it's interesting you say that too, because I believe that I'm just like you. I mean, sometimes we have, as entrepreneurs, we have big personalities and people say, wow, you got so much confidence. But I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, we lack the most confidence and we overcompensate sometimes with how we show, but we're always second guessing our decisions and doubting, are we good enough? But we're also always looking through the windshield and not looking in the rearview mirror as to what we've accomplished.
Right.
I think going forward, and again, the past 5-6 years for Alberta, the COVID, I keep saying we need entrepreneurial drive in Alberta like never before.
It's true.
Any final words, kind of advice you'd have for other entrepreneurs that are out there that are maybe going through the same things you're going through or have gone through, or experiences you've had in the past? Any words of encouragement or advice?
Yeah, a couple of things that I think, if I reflect on the last few months that we did, is, to be the change that you want to see, and that's another one that I've heard before, but very much, if you see things out there in the province of Alberta, or in your city or your community or your business, your industry, instead of talking about it, be the change that you want to see and lead it. I think that you can't go wrong doing that. And I think that's something that we've done. Instead of just talking about it, we've tried to be that change. And then the other one is, we look beyond ourselves. I think that's helped me a lot, is looking inwards and focusing on your own shit. Sorry to swear, but sometimes, we really just made a real focus on, since, just before COVID, we just said, you know what, we're going to start looking at our community. So other businesses and doing a lot of collaboration, celebrating other businesses that we love, and telling the story of other businesses that we've enjoyed working with, and really looking beyond ourselves to our business partners and to our customers, and focusing on being great with our customers and the community at large, and business partners. And the more we've looked outside of us and not worried about looking at the bottom line every day and just actually done the right things, things have become better. And we continue to do that and don't want to lose sight of that. And I think sometimes if you just focus on doing the right things for the people in your world around you, the dollars will take care of themselves.
No, I love that. And Jason, I can't avoid when it comes to being the fit kitchen, and just from a personal standpoint, any advice there for taking care of yourself?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Thanks for that thought there, Jeff. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've always kind of been a bit of an active fit guy myself, and thus passion for the industry I'm in. But you can't lose sight of the other thing, is just having, when I say sustainable, it's got to be sustainable for the people in the business. And it's not an easy road that we all go on as entrepreneurs, and demands at home with the family and your own personal life. No matter, we all have that as well. So taking care of yourself. It was interesting on LinkedIn when this all started. I did it, I however many followers on LinkedIn I've got, 500-600 or whatever it was. But I did a post on, it was interesting, I did a post on morning routine. in the fact that I like to get in some, whether it's mental, work on your mind, work on your body, do some fitness in the morning, do a little bit of journaling or meditation, and it was interesting. Like that had several thousand views, and it was interesting how that struck a chord with people. And it was like, I think that would be my tip, is just to make sure that every day you put in something there to keep your body strong and your mind strong, and push yourself physically in that, so that when you show up to your problems, you got some gas in the tank. Because if you don't have any gas in your own personal tank, you got nothing to give anybody else, including your family or your business. So take care of yourself first, become a kind of a pillar mentally, physically, and then you have lots to give. So and that gets you out of your comfort zone too. For some people, for me, I've been doing it a lot of years, but it's never too late, right, to start working on yourself that way.
Well, you know what, and I'll just finish it off by saying to make sure you're fueling your body properly with a group like a Fit Kitchen. Make sure you're supporting local. And I think that's another big thing we're pushing on. So, Jason, I appreciate you taking the time. Great to connect. Hopefully we can get together soon and have a beer at some point and get connected again.
Yeah, I'd love
taking
that.
the time, and take care of yourself.
Thanks very much. Yeah, and as you said, Fit Kitchen is there to take care of your healthy eating needs. That's for sure. So we're a good aid for people that are looking to make sure they're eating with that newfound activity they're taking in. So.
And a great Calgary company. So, thanks, Jason.
All right. All the best, bud.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.